If you want to work on yourself mentally or emotionally, you should spend more time alone. But if you're satisfied with the relationship you have with yourself and with what's going on inside here, then you should not spend that much time alone and your schedule should be stacked with activities. That's the best action you could take. Because otherwise, if you are doing pretty well, let's say your mind is going all right, your relationship to yourself is pretty good, you don't really hate yourself, you're not that anxious, if you end up spending quite a lot of time just by yourself in solitary confinement, you just lose touch with reality. You obviously do. You don't talk to anyone anymore, you're just by yourself, just you and your thoughts. And when that happens, you tend to go too deep in all areas of life, in all of these topics and subjects that come to your mind. You tend to overthink quite a lot. And some people used this overthinking to a better purpose, which is the philosophers throughout history. They created work that changed the entire history of humankind, the entire course, right? Iconic works. But they were quite miserable. They didn't really like their lives, did they? Quite a lot of these philosophers were depressed, they were alcoholics, they hated everything, they were nihilistic, because that's what happens when you're stuck with your own thoughts and you don't actually take like normal actions in your day-to-day life. And that's the happy scenario, honestly. Becoming a nihilistic philosopher is the happy scenario. The more realistic one is that you will just end up being hooked by the virtual world and spending your time there all day long because it's so easy to do that. The healthier and the better approach, especially if you don't have a lot of stuff to work on, or not something that has a huge priority in your life, is to go out more. To go out more, to have your schedule stacked. And from my experience, the friends of mine that are the happiest are the ones whose schedule is literally stacked. They literally go to work. They go to work in like 8 a.m. in the morning, let's say. They stay there until like 5 p.m. Then they hit the gym for like a couple of hours or something like that. Then they meet a couple of friends to deliver a certain package or do a certain duty they have. Then they see another friend and go for a stroll around the city. Then they go home at 11 p.m. And the next day they just start all over again. And that's literally their life. They have activities every single day. They do sports. They go and attend social events and like cultural meetings and stuff like that. They find a lot of stuff to do. And there is a lot of stuff to do if you're creative and if you want to engage in that behavior. Now, some of these people are gonna be less wise indeed. Some of them are gonna be, quite toxic and perhaps abusive to some people around them, but they like their lives. They enjoy what's going on for them in their lives and they are happy with that. Do they truly know themselves and all of this deep philosophical stuff? No, they don't know themselves. They make a lot of mistakes, but they are happy. What's the point of life if not to be happy, first of all, to enjoy every single moment of your days, to be grateful, to be alive and to be able to do stuff? If you think in too much depth, you're just prone to developing all of these anxieties. As I said, you lose touch with reality. You don't really understand the social dynamics anymore. Your mentality becomes twisted about yourself and about the other people and the real world, and you become alienated. When you're alienated, you start believing you're different. Your ego is happy that you are different, that you are special, that you just have to be locked up inside your room every single day, but you are actually suffering and you are not even healthy and you are not even enjoying your life truly. Because truthfully, the biggest enjoyment in life is gonna happen out there. It's not gonna be in here. It's not gonna be when you're watching Netflix or scrolling on TikTok. It's gonna be when you're talking to people, when you're attending certain events with people, or even by yourself. I don't know, running like 20 kilometers or something, setting yourself a new personal record in certain sports or certain areas of life. Things you do inside your home are meant for comfort and for progress, but it's not enjoyment. Enjoyment can never compare to the enjoyment you will have out there. So if you want to work on yourself, if you want to do inner work and like dive deep within yourself, journal, figure out some of the limiting beliefs that you have, I don't know, get to know yourself better and to understand the inner texture of your mind, where some of these thoughts are coming from, that's perfectly fine. Or if you want to like work on a business or in your career, or you want to learn a new skill, you want to like learn a new language, you want to learn a new language or something like that, stay inside, put in the work. Yeah, it's perfectly fine to have sprints of your life that are designed this way on purpose. But what's not fine is to have a routine where you're just mindlessly spending time locked up inside your room, not communicating with any human being whatsoever. That is detrimental, that is unhealthy, and that will make you hate your life. I went through a period where I had quite a lot of goals. I had some goals with these videos to keep up a certain consistency, posting videos every other day for a while. I used to do that. And one huge goal I had was to get to lower my body fat percentage. And I got to like 14%. It was the first time in my life where I saw a six pack here. And I was so happy, I was so proud. And during this time, and after I achieved this goal as well, my schedule was just stacked. I had so many activities every single day. I was literally bouncing from one sport to the next, from seeing one old friend to seeing another newer friend to talking to people here and there. And I didn't even allow myself time to do much inner work or to read or any of these things. And honestly, life felt great. Like, you could set yourself a certain goal that you want to reach, right? It might be about your health, it might be about your wealth, it might be about, I don't know, some skill that you want to learn, some skill that you want to master. If you set yourself this like ultimate goal, let's say it's a plan on several years, it's something big, when you're going to get to that point, you don't need to spend so much time alone anymore. If you get to a point where you can just tell yourself, well, I'm satisfied with this and I would love for my life from now on to look exactly like this. I'm on a positive trajectory, on an ascending trajectory through life. I believe I'm doing really well and it's something maintainable. Then you can just stop putting in so much work into the things you're doing and start including more real life activities, trying out new things, going on hikes, going on walks, trying a new sport, trying a new style of book to read. I don't know, you can just get creative with this. There are so many activities out there that you are not even aware of right now. And you have to be open to try these things out because honestly, it's gonna create such a happy life for you and you won't regret it, definitely. You're gonna encounter new people, you're gonna make bonds and connections, and you will have nice memories that you could have never had if you were just inside your house, inside your apartment, your room every single day, several hours scrolling, or even thinking, as I said. Introspection and thinking should be coupled with action. There needs to be a balance between these two. You can have sprints of your life where one of them is more prominent, but at the end of the day, you need to have a certain balance. As I said, we don't want to get to the point where we are like these people that abuse their family and that are toxic and they completely avoid themselves and they don't even know themselves. But we don't want to be like the depressed philosophers either. So you just need to have a balance. You need to find that balance for yourself. Figure out what your ultimate goal is, where you want to get to in life, and work your way towards that place. Put in some sprints of really focused work and then allow yourself some time to enjoy life as well. Then perhaps you're gonna have another sprint where, I don't know, for 2 months or something like that, you're really working harder on something, you're putting in a lot of effort and, thought and mental capacity and energy into that specific craft you're doing. But then you will have another sprint where you are more chill, where you do more of these nice activities that feel really good, that bring you value in the moment and joy. And eventually you will just get to a point where you can fit in a lot more activities in your schedule and you don't need to do so much inner work and perhaps spend so much time locked up inside your room. Now, you can still do some maintenance introspection or some maintenance mini sprints of really hard work. But I would say that the best life you could live is a life that's stacked with activities. Your schedule is full. If you choose to create a more stacked schedule for yourself right now, what you might encounter is that you find it quite difficult. You find quite a lot of friction because you feel tired. You go to work, you go to school, whatever you have, And after you finish those hours, you feel exhausted. You feel like there is no way you're gonna go out and do another activity, right? You just wanna lay in bed, you wanna do nothing. And this is just an illusion, honestly. You have to be aware that this, in most cases, is just an illusion. And I would go as far as to say that in all cases, it's an illusion. Because the only thing you need is a little bit of an impulse, and you will get energetic again. You will become energetic, you will want to do things. For example, let's say that someone is in grave danger and they ask for your help. Well, you're gonna just forget about your tiredness all of a sudden and you're gonna go ahead and help them. If it's a life or death situation or something like that. It's just a random example from the top of my head, but a simple thought can get you energized. So then tiredness is just an illusion, isn't it? And the best way to combat that illusion is to just use discipline, honestly. Discipline has been so talked about online recently in all of these years with the hustle culture and all of those things, but discipline is really useful here because you have to push through that tiredness phase. In my opinion, you have to use the night hours in order to get some rest and to sleep properly. And if your sleep schedule is good enough, then you don't have any excuse to feel tired. You can fix your diet and optimize it more so that you feel more energetic indeed. But I don't know if it really contributes that much, honestly. The sleep is the most important part. And if you know you're getting enough sleep, if you wake up energetic in the morning, then you don't have any good reasons to have these dips in energy throughout the day. And if you do, you just have to push a bit harder. And you might encounter this uncomfortability for like a few minutes, 15 minutes, you're really tired, you really try to push yourself, you really try to go ahead and start a new activity and you still feel tired despite the fact that you're pushing and pushing and pushing. But after those like 15-ish minutes pass, you're fresh. You adapt, your body adapts. You realize that tiredness was just an illusion. And your body adapts on the long term as well. This is the beautiful thing. If you get your body used to a lot of activities, it will ask more activities of you. But if your body is used to just do like one activity, like work or studying or whatever it is for you, and then you just lay in bed all day long and do nothing, then your body obviously feels shocked when you give it more activities, when you put it through so much friction, through so many difficult things, because it's just like, what's happening now? This is not what I was used to. And that's perfectly fine. That's just the expected behavior. You have to train your body to get used to a new routine, and like in 2 weeks or something, it will get used to it. And from that point onwards, it will ask you for these activities. That's all I had to say for this video. It's just an interesting realization I had recently and a really sustainable and healthy way of living life that I'm gonna try to keep for myself, and hopefully you will do the same from now on as well.